We're good, thank you.
Welcome to the regular scheduled council meeting for Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. And we'll start off with the call to order and the invocation, if you'd like to participate. Please stand. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your gifts of life and the opportunities you give us to serve you and to serve others. Help us to act with character and conviction. We ask this, that your wisdom and grace will guide us. We pray these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
At this point, can we have a moment of silence for Tracy Vile, who was a 20-year veteran of the city of Spring Hill, who passed away this week. All right, if we can have everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Leeton,
Here.
Mr. Owen,
Here.
Mr. Graves,
Here.
Mr. Eckert,
Here.
Mrs. Roth.
Here.
President, we do have a quorum present.
Okay. Approval agenda, I have a couple of issues, items we're gonna move. Item 2 on the consent agenda, we're gonna remove. It's not quite ready for prime time. So we'll pull that off completely.
We're gonna remove.
Remove, yes. Remove it. Did I say move?
I just wanted to make sure.
Yep, remove it. Item 7, we're gonna move to the end of the agenda after 12 to formal action. And then we're also going to add agenda item number 11A. And that would be a motion to authorize the president of the council to execute agenda items, documents in the absence of May. Can I have a motion to approve the amendment?
Move to approve the agenda as revised.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now it's time for citizen participation. Anybody that would like to come up and speak on items not on the agenda are welcome to. Please state your name and your address when you come up. Having no one, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
As for formal action, appropriation order. That, Ms. Armstrong, we're gonna do a roll call, correct on that, I believe? Yes. So can I have a motion to approve the appropriation?
Move to approve the appropriation number, appropriation order 2021-07-22.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, sorry, that's a roll call.
Mr. Graves,
Yes.
Mrs. Roth,
I approve appropriation order number 2021-07-22, accepting that I partially abstained from voting on invoice number 10726 in the amount of $38.31 pertaining to J&T Auto Service, Inc.
Mr. Leeton,
Yes.
Mr. Eckert,
Yes.
Mr. Owen.
Yes.
Motion passes 500.
Next is to consider approval of ordinance number 2021, authorizing the issuance and deliverance of $1,700,000 in principal amount in general obligation bonds. And that will be Mrs. Armstrong and Ms. Delbert.
Thank you. The item for your consideration, to consider approval of the ordinance authorizing the issuance and delivery of $1,625,000 principal amount of general obligation bonds, Series 2021B of the City of Spring Hill, Kansas, and providing for the levy and collection of an annual tax for the purpose of paying the principal and interest on the bonds as they become due. For background, the Dayton Creek Benefit District Phase 3 was approved by council in the fall of 2018. The city has previously issued its general obligation renewal temporary notes, Series 2021A, in the original principal amount of $1,629,000 to provide interim financing for certain street, sanitary sewer, storm drainage, water, and related improvements to serve the Dayton Creek Phase 3 Special Benefit District. The city has advertised the sale of its general obligation bonds at a meeting held in the city on this date. Will award the sale of such bonds to the lowest bidder. The bonds shall be general obligations of the city, payable as to both principal and interest from special assessments levied on the property benefited by the improvements. If not paid, ad valorem taxes may be levied. The full faith, credit, and resources of the city are pledged for the prompt payment of the principal and interest on the bonds as they become due. The ordinance was prepared by Kutak Rock, the city's bond counsel, and reviewed by the city's attorney. And with that, Ben Hart of Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors is our financial advisor, and he has additional information.
Thanks, Luann. And this was her first bond that she sat through. I think it was President Owens too. You guys sold the bonds today at 10 o'clock. 3 bids were taken. The rate was 1.67%. And as somebody that just signed a mortgage, I would love to have that rate. 1.67 for the entire $1.7 million in bonds. The winning bidder was Baird out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The other two came out of Chicago and Minneapolis. All three were really close. It was anywhere from 1.67 to 1.86. And where the market is today, that's right on par with what we thought. Actually, it was a little lower than where we thought we would be today for those bonds. So it was, to us, it was a successful sale for what we've done. And just as a reminder, this bond issue went out 20 years. It took out temporary notes that obviously were issued back in 2019. So that if you can think of that as like a construction loan, this is going long-term on that loan.
Okay.
At the lowest possible rate you could get probably right now.
Do we have any questions for him?
No change in the principal amount?
No change.
$1,700,000?
$1 million,
$1,625,000.
right.
620,
1,625,000.
1,625,000?
Right.
Okay, because it says here 1.7.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 1.7 was a draft for your.
Right, that's why I
packet,
was
yeah.
asking the
Yeah.
question. 625 and not 629. Okay.
That's correct.
What's the ordinance number? 2021 dash?
Zero six.
Move to approve ordinance number 2021-06, authorizing the issuance and delivery of $1,625,000 principal amount of general obligation funds series 2021B of the city of Spring Hill, providing for the levy and collection of annual tax for the purpose of paying the principal of interest on the bonds as they become due.
Second.
Any discussion? And this is a ordinance, so we'll do a roll call.
Mr. Owen?
Yes.
Mr. Graves?
Yes.
Mrs. Roth? Yes. Mr. Leeton?
Yes.
Mr. Eckert?
Yes.
Motion passes 500.
The next is, Mrs. Armstrong, you again.
Okay, the next item is to consider approval of a resolution prescribing the form and details of and authorizing the delivery of $1,625,000 principal amount of general obligation bonds, Series 2021B of the City of Spring Hill, Kansas, previously authorized by an ordinance of the city. The temporary notes 2021A were sold on February 25th, 2021, for the purpose of temporarily financing infrastructure improvements in connection with the Dayton Creek Phase 3 Special Benefit District. Bond Series 2021B will provide permanent financing for the Special Benefit District improvements. Special assessments for payment of the bonds will be placed on the 2021 tax roll. The resolution was prepared by Kutak Rock, the city's bond counsel, and reviewed by the city attorney. Are there any questions? And also our bond counsel, Tyler Ellsworth, is present. If there are any questions for him.
Anything to know? Move to approve, move to approve resolution number 2021-R-10, the amount of $1,625,000.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next one is going to be 11A. I think you have that to read for us, Dave.
This is to specifically put together a motion authorizing and directing the council president to sign for this ordinance and resolution in the absence of the mayor. So the motion would be move to authorize and direct Council President Steve Owen, excuse me.
That's
My
right.
tongue got tied. To sign bond ordinance number 2021-06 and resolution number 2021-R-10 as set forth in agenda items 10 and 11, and any other ordinances, resolutions, or contracts or other agreements approved at the meeting on July 22nd, 2021.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That brings us to item 12. It's the approval of purchase of wastewater treatment plant pump, and that's Mr. Messer and Mr. Burton.
Good evening. I was doing some survey work of some of the systems on that. I discovered that one of the pumps at lift station, the south lift station, has been out of service for a long time. KDHE requires that we have a redundant system for all wastewater operations. So we were out of compliance by not having a backup. There's two routes that, or more than one. One, we could do nothing. The first one is a purchase of a new one or rebuild the old one. I'm recommending, the staff recommends the purchase of a new one because there's a $15,000 difference, but it's an $87,000 purchase. We can take the parts from the one, it's an electric motor, so we're not throwing it away, but it's an old pump, and so. Oh, I don't know how to do it. I just read that. Sorry, I didn't. Staff recommends the purchasing of the new pump from JCI Industries for $87,743 since the failed unit is over 15 years old. The old pump can be utilized for parts as spare motor for future repairs. With a delay in reporting the problem, I feel the repair is now an emergency action. I did provide a price quotes from two vendors, Douglas and JCI Industries. JCI is the manufacturer of the pump, and that's the reason pretty much why it's lower.
How long has the pump been on service, do we know?
Over 4.5 years.
4.5 years?
It's on the agenda. Real quick question on that. The agenda item said wastewater treatment plant, but it's actually the lift station number, or south lift station.
Yeah, I group them all together when I talk. That's the way I've talked to the wastewater, whether it's a lift station or I just call it the same.
Sorry, I worked in
Oh, yeah,
wastewater
that's-
stuff for about, and that's why I was just for.
No, it wasn't at the plant. It's, I
Okay.
consider it part of the system. So it's just
Well, that's what I wanted to make sure.
my
Between
wording.
the two things here, when I read through that. And this is just so everybody knows, it's for the redundancy pump. It has been pumping, it's not like it's just.
Right.
Keeping sewage in there, it's redundant, so if the other one failed, we wouldn't just be collecting it in there and not going anywhere.
Yeah, we would have to, if one of them, the one that is the only one there fails, we're talking pumping operation by truck. The lead time on the repair or replacement right now is 12 weeks. So,
Alrighty. Move to approve the purchase.
I had a quick question.
Go for it.
What's the life expectancy on those pumps?
they should be about 30 years.
Okay,
This one's 15 or so, and it's been repaired once.
Gotcha.
But it's hard to say on those, but I've seen them go as many as 30 years.
And we have people on staff, that are more than capable of repairing those?
These are being repaired, well, they're large enough and difficulty, they'll be repaired by the company.
Gotcha. But they would use the parts from this one that would be replaced.
No, we're just gonna salvage those parts. We can replace motors and stuff like that, but you go inside the pump, that's when we're gonna need expertise of of the company to turn the shafts and the tolerances that are needed for inside of the pump. But the motor, so it's a 250 horsepower motor. I'd like to keep that. If we have a power bump and it burns a motor up or something, we do have a backup.
Sure.
The rest of the pump is probably worthless, but
Okay.
So we have the existing pump in there that's working. It's a flight pump,
yeah, they're both flights. Flight
both flights, so
Corporation.
we're just replacing in kind, and then we'll
Yes.
part out the parts
Yes.
from the one that we're gonna throw on the shelf in case we could use them.
Yeah, because they were talking 62,000 for just to repair it, and it's 15, 20 years old, and it's like,
We won't
Jason.
use bearings or anything out of it,
Yeah.
probably, but
Any other questions? Can I get a motion?
yeah. Move to approve the new pump by JCI Industries for the amount of $87,743 to replace the existing redundant pump for South Lift Station.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 And that brings us to number 7, that's you again.
do you remember?
Purple Wave.
Okay. You want me to take it, or you gonna take it? Oh, I think I've got one. Yeah. We have, historically gathered up, surplus equipment, and we were searching for dispose of some of this stuff. So there's actually 7 items, and we talked to Purple Wave, which is an online auction company. And the recommendation is that the city council authorize and approve the sales agreement with Purple Wave to dispose of the excess or replace property. I had attachments of what the equipment is, email correspondence, and a brief description of the items will be developed before put online bidding. Purple Wave is the one used by most of the municipalities, the government agencies. There are others out there, but there were some reasons that I felt that Purple Wave would be the correct choice. The little bit of confusion on this is the first time, and I talked to Frank about this, the way the purchasing policy is written, that certain dollar amount stuff is disposed of by sealed bids, online bidding, or the smaller items, I think, possibly have been disposed of in the past. So this online auction service, we can utilize for all that.
Okay.
Any money coming back is better than taking it to scrapyard. So I think this one is because it's a large one, we were wanting formal, but we had talked about in the future, if it's a small one, I got rid of 7 chainsaws through Purple Wave, it would be mentioned in the staff report or the department report instead of bringing it to here and getting approval on every sales agreement.
Okay. Now, this is something that's actually used locally too, correct? Other cities around us have used this.
Yes, Johnson County itself uses it, Olathe, Leewood, Roland Park.
Okay.
There's a lot of them that use it.
They said Olathe has 18 vehicles on it right now.
So of the products we're getting rid of, are there something we need to replace in the future? Have they already been replaced? Explain that a little bit better.
The 2 police vehicles have already been replaced. The bush hog has been replaced. The transport buses were from a proposed program a few years ago that never came to fruition. and they're both Diamond conversions built on Ford chassis. The Nissan Picon has not been replaced, but it's just unsafe. It is part of the utility vehicles, the three that keep hanging out there. That's one of them. We're just gonna go ahead and move on from this vehicle and just shuffle trucks in the meantime. Same thing with the Ford Ranger. They were both identified to be removed.
The thing I was doing was looking at, where's the actual address for, Purple Wave at on this agreement? Am I missing that?
That was out of
Should
Manhattan.
be there in Manhattan, Kansas. It should
I'm
be.
just not seeing it in the agreement that we would sign.
I don't know, I've got tons of papers.
I saw it here.
Oh, you have it.
somewhere.
I'm just looking, I was just noticing that.
I do everything with them by email, so I don't have it off the top of my head.
There appears to be a page missing.
Their signature block, what was that?
They can be corrected before you sign.
Mayor would sign that when he comes back in. Is there anything in there else that we need to know about? Were you just missing one page?
No.
I'll double check it.
Point of order, there is a signature page in there that you had.
It's for the mayor to
page 3.
sign and for us to sign, but
It's-
not their
it's been-
signature page,
Of Purple Wave.
the purple
Right, the
wave,
address, but I'm just correcting that there is a signature page.
not in the online packet.
I had that.
Ms. Garrity. Not in our packet, here. We don't have their signature page. We just have our signature page. So,
I saw it.
can we just do it in substantial form?
The first page has some signature blocks, but they'll be correct.
Can we just do it in substantial form then?
Yes, additional.
Yeah. Move to approve the agreement with Purple Wave Online Auction Services in substantial form.
Second,
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That brings us to announcements and reports, and thank you, Mr. Messer.
Okay, I had, let me kind of grab my notes real quick.
Sure, oh,
He'll come to you in a minute.
I'll get back to you. You'll have a chance here in a second. Announcement reports, I have nothing, so, Mr. Leeden.
Nothing to announce or report. I just need to get back with staff about the two things, the mayor's state of the city, I think, is what, next Tuesday, and then there's also one with this district coming up.
Yeah, the
School district.
too.
So I'll get back with
Dayton's.
staff on that, in the next couple days.
Mr. Eckert,
nothing tonight, good sir.
Mr. Graves,
No reports?
Mr. Roth,
No, sir?
Mr. Burton?
Purple Wave is actually, Purple Wave
Sorry. And they are, Levy Drive in Manhattan, Kansas. So, but we'll make sure that that gets on there. A couple of things, obviously, we're all saddened by the loss of Tracy. Tracy really did do a lot for the city. It's gonna be hard to figure out everything. But the guy's already on it, trying to figure out exactly what he did and keep that going. A lot of things people don't realize, I mean, just the filters in this building, I think there's like 32 of them he changed every month or every 2 months. And it's just little things like that that we will soon realize what all he did. So, and I want to thank everyone for the support with the family, the city as well, city supporting the family and all. The other was, as you approved tonight, but the bond issues, to give you an idea, it was, winning was 1.6655, then it went 1.7510, and 1.864. It's really close. The city was able to maintain a AA minus rating. So, and then, are you gonna talk about open gym? The gym is now open, more hours. Luann and staff are also really gonna push it on all the social media. Push that, as well as this building is open for the rental and use of the offices and all the different areas.
Okay.
So that's really about all I had.
All right. Mrs. Armstrong. Madam Clerk,
No report.
Mr. Jenkins,
Mr. President, no report.
Chief Henson.
You know, once in a while. Okay, time for the second quarter report. All right, just so you know, I did do a little bit, we're doing comparison of 2020, 2021 year-to-date. For calls for service, we are up. We have currently experienced, this is as the end of June, okay? It's 3,831 calls, that's up almost 1,000 from the year prior. We expected that. 2020 was an anomaly in a lot of different respects. Our time of arrival, our response time is at 3 minutes and 35 seconds on average. That is up from 2020. We've seen a slight increase, it's about the same in aggravated assaults and batteries. Sex crimes are the same as well, I mean, they're plus or minus by 1. Battery has gone up in 2021. Batteries at home, they conclude domestic violence, things of that nature. Auto burglaries have gone down significantly. Auto thefts are also down, burglaries are about the same, and our reports are up about 100.
You had a benchmark for the time of response? Where did you pull the benchmark?
That is based off of 2020 numbers where I had to go in individual reports and calculate everybody else's to make an average.
Oh.
So I'm not going to do that every time.
Oh, I thought it was a benchmark for like a
No.
national benchmark or a local.
There really
benchmark.
is no national benchmark. There's a lot of arguments that says that response time really is not a good gauge of service, because most of the time they want you there to do the service, not so necessarily as quick, to get there safely and stuff like that. But I still think it's good to track it and kind of having a good idea of how quickly our response time is.
That's why I was asking about it. It's
Yeah.
not a national benchmark. It's something that you pulled information from and put together.
That's local. The benchmark that I have listed there was local from 2020.
Right, okay, thank you.
Okay, so on traffic safety, obviously this is another one of our priorities. So we have had 0 fatalities. Our injury accidents are down. Non-injury accidents are unfortunately up. However, I anticipate that again because we have more vehicles on the road than we did in 2020. Alcohol-related incidents are down. DUI enforcement is up. You can see that our traffic activity, which includes traffic stops, motorist assists, things of that nature, are up. Traffic stops, citations, and warnings. I don't have any comparison to 2020 because this particular statistic is difficult to tabulate. And so to do it from year to year is complicated. And I don't want to provide wrong numbers. And then the last one is a little bit of self-initiated activity, area checks, 66, building checks, 7, 24 business checks, foot patrol 15, ped checks 5, and house watches 7. Animal control numbers, you can see the comparison between 2020 and 2021. We're down on calls for service. Our dogs are also, that's generally what we spend most of our time on with animal control. Those are slightly down. However, we've had a lot more at large than in comparison than last year. Bites are slightly down. Impounds are significantly down. We've been able to locate the owners and get them back using Facebook, and the impound that we use at Carrie's Kennel, she knows a lot of the owners of the dogs, and so we're able to get them back to their owners fairly quickly. Wild animals and farm animals, so you can see those numbers there as well. So that kind of gives you an idea. We're basically on pace for about the numbers that we experienced in 2019. I'm not sure if it will go up or down, but it looks like we're more on pace to be doing more of the 2019 type activities. Additionally, this last quarter, we had 3 officers recognized for Living the Value Awards. Detective Weitzel was given a respect certificate, and those are our core values, for demonstrating trustworthiness, teamwork by helping cover patrol shifts during staffing shortages. He's a detective, and it's kind of hard to do the push-pull where he has an assignment and then comes back, and he does it without complaint and does an excellent job. Officer Whiff was recognized for demonstrating compassion and teamwork when children were present during an arrest. Officer Rodriguez was also recognized for demonstrating compassion and service while assisting a victim of a crime, providing comfort during a difficult time. She was very appreciative of his compassion and his empathy. We also have some upcoming events that I wanted to bring to everybody's attention. We do have National Night Out on August 3rd. We are asking that neighborhoods who have registered to please let us know so we can stop by and say hello. The times that you are going to have it so we know when to be there. We are also hosting Chamber Coffee in August. So we have members of the business community coming to the station to visit in the morning. And we are working on a future event involving fire and PD. We just don't have a date on that yet, but it'll be something that will have some cars and trucks to see and popsicles and things like that nature. So we'll try to get that arranged and get that out so everybody knows when that is. Lastly, on hiring, since we last reported in the first quarter, we have hired a new administrative assistant. Her name is Sarah Newberg. She's done an excellent job so far. We're super excited that she is with us. She has taken on a tremendous amount of work, and we're very grateful. Officer Rodriguez, he had since graduated. He is in the field training program right now. Officer Tallman is in the academy and is doing very, very well. He is scheduled to graduate August 31st, and then he will start the field training. We have Officer McGill, who will be starting on Monday. She will be going to the academy in August, on August 18th. Unfortunately, she won't graduate until mid-December, which means she won't be on her own until probably April of next year. We tested for sergeant on Monday, and we interviewed additional officer applicants this afternoon. We have another officer candidate in the near the end of the process. We're waiting for acceptance of the job offer. If that comes to fruition, he'll start sometime probably mid-August, end of August. And we had some really good applicants today that we hope that we'll be able to move forward on as well. And additionally, and it is with great sadness, that Captain Hogue is retiring on July 30th. It has been an absolute pleasure to have had a chance to work with him. And I'm grateful to his service with Spring Hill and his overall 20 years experience in the profession. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Messer.
Just wanted to update a couple of things that I'd gotten questions on. The Webster, we did get a timeline on the Webster Street improvements. The contract has been let, notice to proceed, and they're supposed to start around, the schedule is as good as the first good rainstorm, but August 9th, it looks like they're gonna start with, they're gonna divide the section of improvements into half. They're gonna do, well, actually quarters, four quarters. They're gonna start with the northbound lane, and then the second phase will be this northbound second half, and then the southbound phase 3, and then the last section. We're looking at a completion of roughly, if all goes well, middle of October is the latest. But they're ready to start August 9th, and they're expected to be on the ground. The second thing was just an update on the roundabout. I expect that one is gonna be delayed a little bit. There's been a lot of trouble getting the utilities moved. But the company's ready to go, and I think Suddenlink has been moving their utilities. We're waiting for Atmos to get in there and move their utilities. So the roundabouts is on track if we can just get the utilities out of the way. They're waiting for Evergy, and I think RG is the last big player. But that one is moving forward pretty good. I wanted to make another note about Tracy. There is a memorial tomorrow from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock for the public and anybody who wants to stop in, and it'll be in the cafeteria. We talked to the family, and Ashley's been doing a lot of coordination with Glenda and a few others to help facilitate whatever they need. So they're going to have the memorial over here. We've been doing some road crossings. I think now that we have Emerald over there on Woodland Ridge, we have some pretty bad crossings over there. We're gonna try to work on those next week. If all goes well, but that's pretty much where we're at.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Messer?
The only question I would have is on Webster, is there gonna be any lane closures completely? Or we're gonna have to do detours?
They're gonna go one lane at a time. It's gonna be all northbound traffic. The southbound's gonna be detoured. And then the second phase, or third and fourth phase, southbound will be one lane, northbound will be closed. Or if I've got that backwards, but half at a time. Half of it will be open, half will be detoured, rotating between north and south.
So no complete detours, no complete closures, okay.
Just,
That's what I thought, I just wanted to
yeah, the
make sure.
detour, the only detour is one lane of traffic.
Right, I get it.
Yeah.
Can I ask how that will affect businesses who only have one entrance and it's only on Webster?
They're supposed to reach out to the businesses. That's part of their, they're supposed to be contacting all the businesses and talking to them about that over the next week or so.
Okay.
They're, I forget what the term they used on it, Dropbox or drop by or whatever they use, the contractor used, but they're supposed to be reaching out and explaining and working with the business as best they can.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Wood, do you have anything? No. Then I'll request a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Yes.
Just one.
Make a note of that. I'll help you.